Let me catch this one. I gotta do this 9 o'clock.
This is exciting though. And then we're going to have an announcement.
light doesn't work.
No, I don't think I turned it off to save the
Oh, did you?
battery for that.
Okay. Well, I could bellow out.
I'll give it just a couple seconds and it should pick you up from about 4 or 5 inches away.
Okay.
But,
It's on. All right. Dion, you gonna take your place? Good to see you this morning. Well, appreciate everybody coming out. My name is Arthur Orr, and I'm the state senator that represents south of the river, Morgan County, and then north of the river, Limestone and Madison, sections of those counties that traverse the river for easily 30 or 40 miles north and south. So it's good to be with you all this morning. Regret that Mayor Tab Bowling could not be with us this morning. He had a personal emergency and has asked me to fill in for some of his verbiage to join you with this morning. Today, it's our pleasure to announce that Decatur is one of 15 river cities along the Tennessee River that will be joining in an official capacity the Tennessee RiverLine organization. And you see the website above my head on the graphic that will tell you more about the Tennessee RiverLine and what this movement is attempting to do all along the Tennessee River as it traverses through Tennessee, Alabama, and goes back up into Kentucky. 652 miles of river, and obviously a lot of river communities along that river. The river city of Decatur was selected, as I said, along this 652-mile stretch. There are about 4.5 million people who live along the river and are residents of this area. And Decatur has about 55,000 residences along the Tennessee River here in the local area. You may ask, why is this important? Why should we join together with these other communities along this 652-mile stretch of river? Well, one thing, you can look at all the species that are located in the river, very diverse as far as the ecology and the biodiversity along the river. There are a lot of endangered and threatened species, and so raising awareness among these communities about the importance of the river and the biodiversity thereof. We also, in the Tennessee River, in our area, we're home species to the Alabama cavefish, as you see, and so it's important to protect the river, even though this is not an ecological type movement. That is a component to be aware of the importance of a clean river, a healthy river, and having good stewardship for the river. How do we do this? Well, it doesn't make a lot of sense for, let's say, the Decatur community to do all it can to keep, preserve, protect its river, and then upstream or downstream, there are other communities that are of different thinking. And so it's important that we all band together along this 600-plus mile front to protect and to utilize our river and make others aware of its importance. And you see some of the bullet points above my head about having a cleanup days and other type of events that would help the public access the river, have boating trails. We'll hear more about that, and hopefully have a seamless boating trail after a period of years from the start up in northeastern Tennessee all the way again to Kentucky and western Kentucky along the same body of water there. Interestingly enough, Morgan County we've taken steps to include not just the Decatur area when it comes to our river, but enlarge it past the Decatur area into the heart of Morgan County. And by that I mean we opened last year the Alabama Scenic River Trail, starting at Point Mallard and going for approximately 18 miles all the way down to Highway 36 west of Hartselle at a public site there that the County Commission had prepared years prior that works very well. And so now you have a component of the Alabama Scenic River Trail coming from a tributary to the Tennessee River. And then it takes 18 miles, an 18-mile stretch there, seeing the natural beauty of Morgan County. In the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll be announcing another leg of the Alabama Scenic River Trail that is coming in a tributary to the Tennessee River, all located here in Morgan County. It's a beautiful stretch of river. There's camp-out spots, other camping spots, and other things along the river. We appreciate TVA and the Wheeler Wildlife Refuge folks working with us to get that established. So our river, again, is not just the 652-mile stretch, but we as citizens here in Morgan County can use it to influence the inner part of the county as we use to leverage it to attract tourists. I had someone incidentally just contact me the other day that wanted to set up an outfitter group with canoes and kayaks to use the Scenic River Trail and have that as their base. And they were elated to hear about the announcement we'll be making in a couple weeks about another leg of that. What's our collective goal? You know, our goal is, like I said earlier, to join with others, to celebrate our Tennessee River and the tributaries, and that there are more fish, insects, mussels, snails, as we know, than any other river system in North America, and we need to be proud of that. So you'll hear about the way the Tennessee RiverLine has organized this as we march lockstep with other communities. Other communities will be joining the initial 15 as we celebrate, and that's where we are today to announce that. And Miss Danielle Gibson, who follows me, will talk about that, and then Miss Jeannie Payne will talk about a specific local effort regarding the riverfront here in Decatur. The next step will be connecting with these other communities, and lastly, you'll see catalyze this momentum all up and down our Tennessee River, and with the tributaries thereof, and leverage those to improve not only the natural environment and preserve that, but tourism. And tourism leads us to Ms. Danielle Gibson, our Director of Tourism here in Decatur and Morgan County. Danielle?
Thank you all for being here today. I want to thank the City of Decatur for getting a lot of this together, and Ms. Amy Long. I'd like to thank all of our elected officials for coming today. Thank you to the media for coming, and also to my team for all of their assistance in making all of this happen. You know, the Tennessee River is an important economic tool to the City of Decatur from an industrial standpoint and also a recreational destination. From Native American heritage to campfires along the river, many stories have been told, but yet to be experienced. The City of Decatur applied to be part of the Tennessee River program in August. The Tennessee River is a large part of who Decatur is and how the town came to be. Decatur was originally a river crossing for settlers west of the Appalachian Mountains, and today it still welcomes visitors as they enter the city and is often referenced as the River City. In 2018, the Decatur City Council adopted One Decatur, a new vision and a call to action to charting a new course for the future of the city that is rooted in community values and aspirations. In this comprehensive and strategic plan, the Tennessee River is considered an asset and a priority in moving our community forward. The One Decatur plan aligns with the Tennessee RiverLine's mission of celebrating the scenic beauty, rich diversity, and storied history of the Tennessee River. The Tennessee River and the Tennessee River Valley connects people and communities to each of us through the river heritage and the Tennessee River landscape. The river serves as a catalyst and for new investments in economic opportunity, social health, and environmental stewardship. By joining the Tennessee River Towns program, Decatur is taking its first step to becoming an official Tennessee River town and part of the Tennessee River Line. This transformative initiative is led by the University of Tennessee in Knoxville in collaboration with the Tennessee RiverLine Partnership. In short, river communities that are invested as part of the Tennessee RiverLine with benefit from increased access to river experiences that improve public health and inspire generations of river advocates that are active participants in its stewardship. Through participation in this program, Decatur will be able to tap into growing markets of recreational tourism while learning to be environmental keepers of the land and connect and share ideas with other River City communities. I believe we all owe Mother Nature our commitment to protect the environment that future generations have the opportunity to enjoy. The River Towns program will provide an opportunity to transform Decatur by creating awareness of the river benefits while also protecting its landscape. So as a Tennessee River town, Decatur is marketed as a featured destination with the Tennessee RiverLine system. Local services and destinations and attractions are featured in experience guides, trip planning tools, and mobile applications. We're eligible for exclusive grant and programming opportunities, technical and grant writing support, and collaborative grant applications. An integral historic initiative of local, regional, and national significance, and part of an invested regional network of collaborative project stakeholders. So now I want to introduce Jenny Payne. Jenny is the co-chair of the Riverfront Corridor Committee. Jenny is also the Director of Development at the Cook Museum of Natural Science. She makes a huge impact on our community, and she doesn't take no for an answer. So if I could get Ms. Jenny to come up.
Thank you. Well, it is thrilling to have Decatur receive the honor of a Tennessee River town. What a great way to celebrate the river and to connect with other communities on this river. I've always felt that a town that has a river going through it has an added bonus, that nature has just been extra good to them. I was asked to tell you a little bit about a committee that I'm co-chairing, and it's called the Riverfront Corridor Committee. I live on the Tennessee River, and every day I watch the sunrise and set on the river. I watch the river traffic, I watch the fish jump, I see the birds, I see the river sparkle like it has diamonds on it. And I know it's truly a gift. And one day I was out for a walk, and I was walking under the bridge, and I began to walk under the bridge, which seems unusual, but it seemed to be a good place to walk. And I noticed that there was some beautiful riverfront property there. And I began to think, what if this property was developed? And it even has a natural covering, because when you're under the bridge, it blocks the sun off. And so I began to wonder if this property could be used for recreational use. And I talked to some other folks about it, and they had had conversations about it as well. So I spoke to some friends about it, Danielle, Arthur, Crystal, Brian Cook, Scott May, lots of people in this room, and said I had this idea about maybe developing the property under the bridge. So I called my friend Libby Sims Patrick. She's the daughter of Bill and Betty Sims. She lives in Atlanta, and she is co-founder and CEO of Sims Patrick Studios, which does boutique hotels and large projects, and she's done work internationally. And I said, what if we form a committee and you co-chair this with me? And she said she'd love to. So she said, and by the way, I love turtles. Why don't we call that area under the bridge, Turtle Bridge? So we began to talk to people, and I have never seen such excitement about serving on a committee. I've been doing committees for 30-something years, but this committee has a special energy about it. And so we began to look at Decatur and say, my goodness, we have all this industry and business on the river, and it's important. It was the livelihood for so many people, and it gave us a good quality of life. But there's also a recreational purpose for the river, and what if we tapped into that more as a community and looked at ways that industry and recreation and community could coexist in harmony in Decatur? And there are lots of little nooks and crannies on the river that have not yet been developed. So what if we came up with a plan that unified the riverfront and was kind of a strategic plan. So we developed this committee that is truly a powerhouse committee, and we're using the brain power and brainstorming ability of these people to see what we could do to come up with a plan for the riverfront. And our motto is think big. Think big. Don't let any barriers be there. We've been given this wonderful gift. How can we develop it and make Decatur even more special than it is? I want to say I'm forever grateful for the gift of the Tennessee River that is our home. I want to quote John Muir, who said, "The river flows not past us, but through us." The river is part of our identity and heritage in this beautiful town that we call Decatur, Alabama.
Well, thank you guys all for coming today. We have several people for the media if you would like to interview them one-on-one. Ms. Jenny Payne, Senator Orr, and then also Chairman Long. So if you'd like to interview them, we're going to do that in the conference room back here. So if I could get those three to come over here, and then media if you would like to line up over there. Thank you guys so much for coming.